You are listening to the podcast When Life Gives You Lemons, presented by me, Emma Levy. This is the podcast that interviews high-performing individuals who have been through adversity, but who have come back stronger. This is a special Battle Cancer mini-series where for the next 3 episodes, you will hear from some incredible people involved in battle cancer, including some inspirational cancer survivors who have benefited from the work that battle cancer do. If you have listened to When Life Gives You Lemons before, you will already know that this is a topic that means a lot to me as a cancer survivor myself. Following my own cancer journey, exercise and movement saved me both physically and emotionally. So it was an honour to speak to these guys with amazing stories of survival, and I hope that you can take as much inspiration out of it as I have. Just a note that these were recorded live at the Battle Cancer Fitness event in London, so please do excuse the less than perfect sound quality at times. First off, in today's episode, you are going to hear from 2 inspirational cancer survivors who share their journeys and how exercise through battle cancer has helped them come back stronger than ever before. I then chat to Abby, who is the Battle Cancer Program Coordinator, and we chat about many things, including the importance of mindset, how she managed to run 7 marathons in 7 days, and how she got back those amazing abs after having her first baby.
Today I'm thrilled to be here at Battle Cancer London and to be given the opportunity to interview some incredible people who are involved in the programme. So we've got Matt Lovesey and Simon Day sitting with us today. So I'm going to introduce Matt. Matt was diagnosed with a malignant melanoma in 2021 and after 10 months of treatment joined the Battle Cancer programme in 2022, hoping to achieve his goal to run the London Marathon the following spring. Not only did Matt run the London Marathon, but he's just started his 3rd Battle Cancer programme and is a full-time member of his programme gym where he's been smashing his goals, apparently. He famously said on his first day at the gym, "You'll never catch me on that rig swinging around." I'm not built for that. But Matt is currently working on his pull-ups and is incredibly close to getting his first toast bar. Simon, how about you? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Simon. I'm from Cardiff. I'm an elective in Cardiff. And I was diagnosed with stage 3 throat cancer in 2021. Had surgery, full round of treatments. And after the active treatments, I'd lost a lot of weight. I was very weak. Had no idea what I was going to do to rehabilitate. And just by chance, actually, my father found out about the Battle Cancer Programme, gave me some details, joined the gym, got there first day, rather intimidating because I hadn't been to the gym for such a long period of time, and I was the only gentleman participant for that course. Joined the course, and a year later, I'm here. So it's been an amazing journey.
Brilliant. And do you have a history with exercise at all?
Yeah, I mean, I was a very keen surfer and mountain biker before my diagnosis, and I was very, very motivated to get back to those sports, and so battle cancer has helped me to do that as well. So.
Yeah, and how about you, Matt? Did you have a history of exercise?
My background is rugby. I played rugby since I was 10, so long history of contact sports, which I'm suffering with.
And did your cancer diagnosis come as a shock?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when somebody says to you, "You've got cancer," and it's like your whole life just flashes before you. You think the worst. For like 10 minutes, I was sobbing my heart out because you think, it's the end. But then I've got to pull myself together. I've got to just tackle this head on and just give it whatever I've got.
And what did your treatment look like?
So started off, I had the mole removed, and then they did a wider incision. They removed lymph nodes from the ears, which came back as cancerous.
So was the mole on your head?
Yes. Yeah. Then I underwent immunotherapy. So I started that Christmas 21, and that took me through to October 22, where I would be receiving treatment every 6 weeks. Just looking to stimulate the immune system to find anything in my body that shouldn't really be there. Because obviously the melanoma likes to have a cloaking device on it, likes to hide. So the immunotherapy was there to try and hunt it out and get rid of it.
So is that like a new modern alternative to chemotherapy?
Yeah. Obviously a lot less aggressive, and side effect wise, it's, for me, I was lucky. I had none.
Yeah.
And it can be pretty difficult to people who do get the side effects. But I trained for a marathon, so That's what you do.
Exactly. How about you, Simon? What was your cancer journey? How did that look?
Well, a bit like Matt, I went into it, I was very, very fit, and it came completely out of the blue. I just didn't see it coming, completely left-sided me. And like Matt, you walk in that day and they tell you, and I was just utterly gobsmacked. I'd found a lump in my neck. I thought it was maybe something glandular or a reaction to COVID. But my GP didn't know what it was, so he referred me super quick. And then as soon as they got the ball rolling, the treatment plan was up and running within about 2 weeks. So I had some pretty incredible cutting edge robotic surgery.
Wow.
To remove part of my tongue, double tonsillectomy, and surgery to remove about 100 lymph nodes like Matt. So they stripped all that out, and then unfortunately, because it was very, very small in the location of the cancer, I had to go through chemo and some heavy radiotherapy as well. So I ended up feeding myself through a gastro tube, and it was very unpleasant.
Yeah.
Not something that I particularly want to repeat, and that's why I lost so much weight and strength. So.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, isn't it, how you both said how your diagnosis came as such a shock. Same with me. You never think you're going to kind of be sat in that room and hear the news that no one wants to hear it. I don't think anyone ever expected to hear that news.
No, when I was 20 years old, the sun couldn't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, I was suntan lotion. What do you need that for? It's come back and it bit me spectacular.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I always say regarding suntan lotion, I remember as a teenager I used to use oil.
Yeah.
You know, Hawaiian Tropic Factor 0. I mean, now I won't sit in the sun.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how we change, isn't it? So back to exercise through treatment. So you went through chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Did you do any exercise throughout your treatments?
I tried to walk for my daily treatments. After about 3 weeks, I got so weak that I couldn't walk, had to be driven. By about the 6th week of treatment, I was literally shuffling around the house. I was breathless going up a flight of steps. I'd never been so weak in my life. I felt really touching faint. So that was a very, very low point, you know, very dark space to be in.
Yeah. So how long after did this strength come back?
Probably about 2.5, 3 months, you know, I started feeling, you know, I still don't feel like myself. I don't know whether Matt feels that, but it's about 2.5, 3 months where I felt like I was, you know, getting out, working the dogs, doing more activity like that. But I would never have considered going to the gym at all.
Yeah.
I just thought that's, you know, way beyond my reach, way beyond my limit. But
yeah. And so someone, I think you said your dad referred you to Battle Cancer Program?
Yeah, I mean, I was just super lucky because my dad's friend, her daughter runs the Battle Cancer Program in Worcester.
Oh wow.
Sarah Caldecott, and so she gave me the information and said, look, they're running one in Cardiff, why don't you get involved? And it was that random kind of chance element that got me there.
And do you remember how you felt on your first session at that program?
I was pretty intimidated. I'd never been into a CrossFit gym. I hadn't seen all the rigs. I saw people like Matt swinging around on the bars, and I'm thinking, that can't be. I couldn't raise my shoulder on the kind of horizontal. So I thought, I can't do that. I won't be able to do that. Within 6 months.
You're here now.
Yeah.
And so was it lots of different abilities within your program cohort?
Yeah, loads of different abilities, loads of different age ranges. And so, I mean, the program's brilliant. It's so scalable, so adaptable. Anybody can get involved, and that's what I found so brilliant about it. And it was very inclusive, very welcoming. No kind of physical kind of prerequisites whatsoever. So
yeah,
it's a good start.
Matt, how did you come across Battle Cancer?
So it's actually Matt, who was part of the Battle Cancer team. So I used to train with him in like fruit camp, and he knew about my journey. And he said, there's a gym in Otter St Mary, where I live. Oh, they do a Battle Cancer program. I'm like, do they? And so he told me about it, gave me all the information, and so I had to get cleared by my doctor.
Yeah.
And then turned up for the first day and sort of like walked in and go, what on earth is this? You know, I've never seen anything like that. You know, what these people are doing, it was really daunting to walk in. You know, because some things I can excel at, some of the stuff they do, I'm rubbish. And I think it's just, as you say, going into it, eyes wide open, and just thinking how this can help me, all the people that are in a similar boat.
Yeah.
Some of the ladies, I was the only bloke as well, and it was like, the journeys that they've gone on, and breast cancer and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, I'm lucky. I am really lucky when I look at these ladies. And it just went from one.
Yeah.
And I would go twice a week, and Abby would brutalise me because that's what I wanted. That was my coping strategy.
Yeah.
Was to throw myself into exercise and to better myself and batter myself. I think.
And did Abby put your nerves at ease quite quickly after that first session?
Yeah, she apologises to me every time, so sorry for making you do this, but get on with it.
And how important was it for both of you, the community aspect of the programme?
I think I really enjoyed with the people, because new ones coming in, and you can talk to them, you can give them what your experiences, and we're all coming from different backgrounds, different age groups, different diagnosis, but we're all in it together. There's no egos, there's nothing, I'm better than you. We're here together. Yeah. Let's enjoy it, and let's pull each other through.
How about you, Simon?
Exactly the same experience. The inclusivity and the togetherness were the two things that I really, really liked. Like Matt, I was the only male participant, so I thought, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? But the ladies were wonderful, and we bonded really well, and we really pushed ourselves and helped ourselves. And as Matt said, it didn't matter what diagnosis you had. There was that commonality of experience, which was important, that bonded us.
It's phenomenal as well that neither of you would have gone to the gym without the Battle Cancer programme.
I'd have never gone to a CrossFit gym because I just didn't think that was me.
Yeah. I find that, amazing. Look what Battle Cancer's done for you both. And, we know that exercise reduces the risk of cancer recurrence by 60%. So Battle Cancer has given you both that option to go to a gym and to do the exercises, which is great. Matt, tell me about your marathon journey then.
So, I actually had a spot in the 2021 marathon.
Okay.
But after I had my operation, which I've got my forehead here, I couldn't do it because I had to stop training for 6 weeks. So I delayed my entry, obviously with all the COVID and all these bits and bobs. It was delayed till October 22.
Yeah.
And it was just, okay, I've got to get on with this. And I'm 20 stone, ex-rugby player. I'm not designed to run, but it was just, complemented. I would run once a week, and I would spend the rest of my week in the gym and just do CrossFit because the knees don't like it. And I built, and every week I would increase my mileage, running up and down the estuary in Devon, because it's flat and it's beautiful. And I could just increase my mileage and just get myself ready. It was October the 2nd last year, when I sort of stepped onto the streets of London. It was like, here we go. It was the second time I've done it. I did it in 2018, and I did it again, and I took 45 minutes off my time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But for me, it's just getting to the end. Just thinking about the reasons why I've done it, and what it means to me.
How did it feel as you crossed the line?
I tried. So,
yeah, I'm sure. Have you done any challenges, Simon?
Main challenge was to get back on my surfboard and get back on my bike.
Yeah.
So what's been brilliant about Battle Cancer is because it's kind of functional compound movements, they're absolutely ideal for training,
yes,
for surfing and for mountain biking. So I remember one of my targets after my treatment was to go to my favourite beach to surf with my friends, and my wife and I, gonna bring your tears for her now. The first time I caught a wave post-treatment, it was just
memorable.
Yeah, very memorable. So and Battle Cancer's given me that opportunity to do those things I love and getting out and about, back on my bike, back on my boards.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So what does Battle Cancer mean to you, Matt?
Oh, it's a community. Looking at all this, what we do across Europe, America, what it gives to people. Some people, this is not for them. Some people, they like the painting, they like the art stuff, they like the pottery. For me, this is what works. It's these people, looking at all of what some of these people can do and about how I want to be part of this. I wish I was 20 years younger, but just that we're all here for a reason, and some people that have actually lived it, that have that lived experience, can share this information with all these people that want to make a difference.
And you're working here today as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So
you're volunteering, I should say.
Full day yesterday was setting up. Full day today.
Matt was judging us on our last.
Oh really? Oh, was he strict?
Oh, yeah. Of course he
Straight down
was.
the middle.
So you give up your time as well. You volunteer for Battle Cancer.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to help out because the help they give me at the gym, and it's about sort of, I know that they struggle at times, and it's about helping these people that help me.
Yeah.
So it's all this, give and take of everything we do.
Yeah, and I asked Pete earlier how much money Battle Cancer have raised since the inception of it, 2016, and he said, I think he said over £6 million for cancer charities, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Simon, what does Battle Cancer mean to you?
Well, I think if you told me that I'd be here today a year ago, I would have just laughed at you because I had no concept in my mind that I'd be capable of doing this, and Battle Cancer has given me that. So I owe it so much. Fantastic program. So I've done everything I can to help support and promote it in Cardiff. I've been taking materials around to all the cancer departments and the cancer hospital and stuff to try and promote it to everybody, but particularly male participants, because I don't think there are any on the latest program either. So
that's interesting. Why do you think we're lacking male participants?
I don't know. I think as blokes sometimes we're pretty poor at reaching out. Maybe a bit of ego involved. The fact that you've got to go through that process where you walk through that door at the CrossFit gym thinking, well, I'm pretty vulnerable here, you know, and I'm intimidated and I don't know what I'm letting myself in for. So I think maybe, if there was a stepping stone or somebody, a mentor or whatever to help you through or with that would be really, 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 really useful.
Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah, I think it is a shame that there's a lack of men who do it. Whether it is people, it's just not their thing, or they're not ready for it. And I think you've got to be in a certain mindset to step into a gym and come out of your comfort zone, that you do things that you've never done before, and that element of self-doubt. But I think hopefully it will change, and with this, myself, Simon, and that talking about it, it can make a difference. And we have, a 50-50 split, that more people can get involved with it, and we share the message. And the hospitals, all the treatment areas, they engage with this process, because this works for people where others, treatments work for others. So share the message, get it out there, and hopefully people can go on, continue this journey that we are currently doing. Yeah,
I'd love there to be a greater take-up in the NHS, for instance. So, when you go through treatment in the NHS, there's no exercise rehabilitation after cancer. And, we've just said there's 60% risk of recurrence. So why aren't and that is, evidence-based. So why aren't we offering it to everyone?
Yeah, when you go to Cherrybrook, which is the oncology clinic in Exeter, where I run, it's nothing in there. Yeah. It's because it's provided by a different charity and focus on what they want to provide, not what is on offer in the region.
Yeah, I find it unbelievable, but hopefully, and I hope that men are kind of going to find strength in their vulnerabilities.
So.
Because for me, post-cancer, that's been my journey, basically, to open yourself up, to become more self-reflective, and to learn that actually it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. And to feel that emotion, which we often don't give ourselves the permission to feel.
I'd just like to give a shout out to the man in white, because it's his fault that I actually came on this. So it's him. It's his fault.
I like the way he's subtly listening. He's pretending he's not listening by facing the opposite direction.
Exactly. So it's about him.
Brilliant. Both of you, for start, Simon, how have you changed following your cancer diagnosis?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think mentally, I'm actually emerging stronger, because I think when you put yourself through that kind of adversity, you've got to at some point show some resilience. As Matt said at the start of the piece, you've got to say, I'm going to do this. You've got to meet it head on. and I think that does develop a certain mental strength and resilience, which it's fantastic attribute to have once you've been through such an appalling experience.
How about you, Matt?
I think that you still have your down days. You still have your days when you think, why me? Why was it me? And then you think of the positives. And to be honest, I had to go and get a tattoo. I put it there. So
Never give up.
and that's what I look at every time I'm in the gym and there's something I'm struggling with. I look at that.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me through.
Yeah. And I like to think, you said, why me? I like to think, not why me, but what now?
Yeah.
And I think, the fact that you're both here as well, you obviously buy into that as well.
Yeah.
Final question I like to ask all my podcast guests, and again, I'll go to you first, Simon. If you could go back in time to when things were at their most difficult, what do you wish you could have told yourself?
Just keep going. Keep on, keep it nice.
That,
But
never give up.
never give up. And also look after those that are close to you.
Yeah. Look after your loved ones and the importance of community, isn't it? And that's what this is all about today, and finding strength with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Huge gratitude.
Thank you to you both. Seriously, massive respect. You're both inspiring individuals. Thank you for coming to talk to me. Thank you for being here today. And thank you to Battle Cancer for what they do.
Thank you, Emma. Cheers.
This episode is sponsored by Battle Cancer. The Battle Cancer Programme is a charity organisation that provides fully funded 12-week programmes to those in recovery from cancer. The programme is open to anyone who has finished their active cancer treatment by 2 months or more and at any pre-existing level of fitness looking to support their recovery, rebuild lost muscle and cardiovascular fitness in a coach-led, small group environment. Battle Cancer strives to help build strength, confidence, and reconnect people with their bodies. You can learn more and apply for your nearest programme by heading to www.battlecancerprogram and following the steps to join a programme.
We have Abby Gould with us now, and all of our guests were asked to write a little synopsis on themselves, and I'm going to read you what Abby wrote.
Oh no, the original.
Abby never knows what she's doing and is literally blagging her entire life, and is really hoping she doesn't have to be interviewed and Simon can do it to the end. So that's what I had to plan the interview on. So Abby, if you can just start by introducing yourself, tell us who you are, what you do here.
So I'm Abby. I basically coordinate where all the Battle Cancer programs run all over the world. I'm also coaching the program in our gym at home, which is the Move Forward Gym in Devon, and you're going to hear from one of my participants later, Matt. So yeah, we just go through all the setup, get everybody, all the coaches through their qualification, then get all the programs kind of onboarded. Anybody that applies, I'm the one they speak to. We just do kind of, it's all very personal. Like I don't like them to feel like they're just getting blanket emails and things. So everybody just talks to me, and we get them all set up, and just you're giving people a lot of personal information about things you've been through. So we try and keep it really personal.
So it all goes through you.
Yeah, everything comes through me. So I'm always the person. Are you ready? Have you done this yet? So all of those annoying emails are all from me. Get everybody ready, get all the gym details, make sure they're comfortable, like what they're doing, where they're going, who they're meeting. Quite a lot of our coaches really like that personal touch as well, and they'll reach out individually and create WhatsApp groups, and they're often just groups to moan about how sore and achy everybody are after training. But yeah, so it's really nice and like getting that personal connection with people. And then once they're ready to go, then they sort of become their own little independent bodies all over the world, which is nice. But they check in with me and let me know like what they're doing and how they're doing. And then at the end of the programs, I'm the one that kind of goes around, gets everybody's results, and just like takes a look at them, sees any kind of patterns. We tend to look at the results for two reasons: A, to make sure the program's working, and that the design and nothing needs altering, but also just to see if there's any area that's coming up all the time that people don't feel that has improved as much as they hoped, and then we'll go back and look at it and be able to kind of reassess it and update it and add things where people have kind of mentioned extra things that they'd have liked to have done whilst they're on it and things. So it's kind of developing all the time and changing all the time.
So you're the Battle Cancer Programme co-ordinator,
Yeah.
but you're also a programme coach.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about what the programme actually entails?
So it's really kind of a progressive, structured course of fitness that starts off with literally just learning the mechanics of moving the body correctly so that you're working the design muscles that you're supposed to for that exercise. We start off right with the basics and then progress through the 12 weeks. We look at kind of 3 key lifts so that people can measure their own progress, but they're also like fundamental movements like a squat that we're using every day in life, a strict press overhead, again things that you're doing all the time, and a deadlift, so like picking things up, which are kind of everyday movements that we really want to make people nice and secure and strong doing, so that those movements and your muscles are fit for life effectively. And it's a lot of the time that things like that, getting up off the sofa, getting in and out of the car, that people really take for granted, and then when you've lost muscle mass, then that actually becomes quite difficult, and then you end up having to rely on other people. So it's nice that we're able to kind of work on those things through a fitness thing that will actually give them skills for life. So then through the programme we also look at cardio development, so working on their cardio fitness through kind of structured little workouts that enable them to work at their own pace, but also to challenge themselves. So we don't like to make it competitive in the sense that anything in the programme is for time or, you know, fastest wins or anything like that. It's all that, you know, you'll be doing an 8-minute workout, and in that time you'll do as many movements as you can do for your current fitness. So people don't feel like, you know, they're comparing themselves to the person next to them. You can choose all your own weights or not to use weights at all if you're not ready yet, but just so that you're getting a good workout, you get that sense of achievement at the end of it, that, you know what, I didn't think I'd be able to do that for 8 minutes, but actually I've found a way that made it work for me and I've done it. So it's nice to just give people that confidence to then be able to look at the next week and think, oh, this time it's 10 minutes, I bet I can do that. So yeah, and that then progresses throughout the 12 weeks. We'll look at certain workouts again at the end so that people can then look back at the beginning and go, oh my god, I did that in week 2 and I got 4 rounds, and then I've done it again now and I've got 7. That's crazy. And at the time when they did their 4 rounds, they thought, that's the hardest I've ever worked, I've never been able to beat that, and then they just proved themselves that they can.
And is it for people at all stages?
Absolutely.
Or if anyone's listening to this and thinks, you know, I'm only a few weeks into treatment, or when do you take people onto the programme?
So we tend to say that 2 months after they finish treatment, just to kind of give their body that healing time and recovery time. But then from there, we do look at every single person individually, and we always get a sign-off from the doctor just to say that they're happy that it's not going to interfere or compromise any treatment that they might be on. But 2 months is our general rule. There's no reason though that if it was 6-7 years ago for you and maybe you'd like just a little bit of support through your fitness journey, or maybe you didn't think fitness was for you, but actually you're thinking now, you know what, I'd like to do something for myself and my body, and I maybe haven't connected with my body, even though it might be quite a long time since my treatment finished. It's really well structured that you could come in at any stage and still be able to make it the right version for you.
Yeah. So there's no cut-off points.
Absolutely not. So anybody that has been through cancer is more than welcome to join us for a programme. Yeah, so it's nice that it's all inclusive, and it's nice then coming into a groove where everybody might be at a different stage, but you've all already got something in common. People often describe it as they walk through them, and like, you know, you go into a regular gym and people often tell me that they feel like people treat them differently, and they're very cautious, whereas you're in the same situation as everybody else in the room. Suddenly you're not the one that stands out anymore. they've already got all these shared experiences that they can actually relate to, and feelings that they've been through in their treatment, that when they've described them to somebody else and they've gone, oh yeah, no, I'm tired too. I've been working really hard this week, and of course you're tired because you've been working really hard, but also it's not the same, and somebody that hadn't been through it wouldn't be able to relate to that. So just having that support around them, and then we have all sorts of different stories from groups that have maybe somebody's had another concern come up, and their groups have been their support level, or just difficult things that they're experiencing in everyday life, and those people have become their new people. So it's
how
really
important do you think the community element is of the
enormously
program?
important. Yeah, and I mean, even in our little groups where there might be 2 or 3 people, we find that those groups often have the strongest bonds, because they work through it together in their little teams. And then you have the other extreme, like Pete, who you've spoken to already. His crew are growing in number every year because he just combines all the people together, and suddenly he's got this actual army of our Battle Council programme participants, and they're incredible, and they are just this beautiful support unit, this lovely family community group.
And if we talk about you for a little bit, you are a qualified PT, and I believe you were a volunteer with Battle Cancer, and then you took the plunge into a paid position.
Yes.
What kind of motivated you to go that way?
Scott. Entirely Scott. So I was actually a veterinary nurse before my life with Battle Cancer, and I met Scott at the gym. He was just kind of starting Battle Cancer at the time, and it was the first London, and he was like, please come along and help. We're just kind of setting up, we haven't got many volunteers, you can join in, you can be in a team. So we went and we competed in a team, and then we helped out on the day, and so it was like, this was awesome, this was something like amazing to be part of. And then I stayed friends with Scott, and we kept coming to events and often judging or kind of helping out at front desk and things. And then I started to study for my personal qualification, and Scott got his gym, and he said, well, would you like to come and coach? So I started going to coach there, and then he just sat down on the table next to me after a class one day, and he said, I've got a proposition. I'd really like you to come and run the charity. And I went, sorry, I don't think that's something I could do. And he was like, yeah, you could do it. Like, I think you'd be a great person. And he's fantastic for giving you reasons to believe in yourself when you genuinely don't think you can do it. And he's awesome. Like, he'll just kind of support you through anything that you're not sure of. And we've just really built the format together.
That's amazing.
We've kind of brought different skill sets to it. Neither of us have done it before, but hopefully we're making it work for someone.
Well, it looks like you are.
So yeah, and the charity's grown a lot since I came on board, and it's amazing to watch it develop, and like the new places that it's going, and what we're hoping to do with it in the future, really. So yeah.
And what's your personal journey with fitness?
I've kind of always used it as a bit of a support outlet for me. I've had a lot of, I suppose, difficult, it was quite difficult growing up, just my family environment and things were quite tricky, and it was just this constant in my life that gave me like a bit of an outlet. It's really just like a good switching off place for me that helps me get out of my own head from overthinking everything. So it really helps me get out of that for a little bit and kind of put everything back into place. So I was always a runner, and then where my vets was, where I was working, was opposite a CrossFit gym, and I used to see these crazy people running up and down the road with kettlebells and all sorts, and I was like, that looks cool. I could never do that though, I'm not very strong. And then one of my best friends started going to, ironically, actually fell in love with her coach, and they're married with two children now. And I have a little boy with his brother. It's all got very impersonal. And so she dragged me along, and then that was it. I was hooked. So the runner became a CrossFitter, begrudgingly, although I'm still a runner at heart.
I was going to ask you about your running because I did a bit of Instagram stalking.
Oh, no.
Am I right in saying you did 7 marathons in 7 days?
I did.
So
I wouldn't recommend it.
I know. I want to ask you about that. I'm really fascinated with people that do these endurance extreme challenges. What motivated you to do it?
Just, I'd done London before a couple of times and a couple of ultras, just because I always felt like I'd found my calling with like a long endurance run. I really just enjoyed it. The people that I met on the way, particularly in ultra marathons, it's a lot less, I would say, competitive, and the people that are doing it are kind of really doing it as a challenge for themselves. And you meet those amazing people, get talking to people that you'd never come across in any other walk of life, and they tell you their story, and then they'd run off on their pace, and you'd meet someone else. And I just loved the experience of it, and it made me feel like I'd found some people that kind of got how I felt about running. And then I did a couple of big races, and I was like, oh, what can I do to raise money that people are actually going to like support? Because the people are like, oh, you've done the marathon, I'll donate you any more money for that. You've done that, I know you can do that. And then my races got longer, and then they donate to that, and I was like, oh god, I don't know how long I could run for. But I bet I could run consecutive days for a big amount. So just stupidly said, oh, I wonder if I could do 7,
and there you go.
And then I said it out loud, and then I had to. So
yeah. And with the ultra challenges, how important do you think mindset is versus the physical aspect?
I think being determined helps, like stubborn to the point of being quite annoying.
Stubborn. I've heard ultra athletes use that word before.
I think I'm just really stubborn, and once it's more with myself. So if I tell myself I bet you couldn't do that, then that's it for me. I'm like, well, no, you have to. No, you absolutely have to. So
what was the hardest day in those 7 days?
Day 6.
Brilliant.
Day 6 is a bad day.
Was that physical?
Yeah, I gave myself quite bad tendinitis in my ankles, and it got worse and worse. And it sort of seemed to peak on day 6, and I'd set day 7 as London Marathon to be a really good one to finish on. And so I was in London, and I had to do this distance on my own through London, and I didn't know it very well. Just from little Devon, where it's all very country based. There's not very many people. So yeah, I said, I'll just do one in London on my own. And I got up that morning, I could barely move my feet, and it was chucking it down with rain. And my partner and my little boy had come up, and they were just tucked up in bed. And I got up about 4:30 in the morning and went out and started running. And I think I must have stopped probably 7 or 8 times and cried on my own, running through the streets of London in the dark, in the rain. Must have looked like an absolute crazy woman, and sort of limped home about 5.5 hours later with mascara all down my face and looking very worse for wear. And my other half was like, come on, like, there's only one more, like, stop being an idiot. And miraculously, I got up the next morning, and somebody must have been shining down, or some luck or unicorn had blessed me or something, because my ankles phenomenally just got better for day 7, and it was fine. And then
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that is the power of the mind.
Yeah, and that's all it could have been, really, because then for about 6 months after that, I could barely move. So,
so how do you think you got through day 6?
Determination, and I think, by that point, there's so many people rooting for you, and having like those people in those like dark moments when you're thinking, I just can't do this, and people are like, no, come on, like, you can, and you're not gonna stop, so you might as well get on with it.
I interviewed an ultra athlete who'd done 30 marathons in 30 days.
God.
So, I mean, I don't know how he managed
that.
And that was in the deserts of Dubai as
wow.
well. So in the heat and the up and down.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating. And I really feel there's a massive mental component.
Absolutely. I think you just have to be really, really stubborn.
So day 7, you smashed the London Marathon.
Yeah, and it was the fastest one,
Really?
and my
Sick.
fastest ever London. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but
That's just amazing. Have you got any other challenges planned in the future?
No, not yet. But I've started getting itchy feet for it. So watch the space.
Good. And then I was going to ask you. You mentioned you got a little boy.
Yes.
Talk to us about how you came back to fitness following that, because I've seen your abs and they don't look like my abs who've also had children.
I suppose I was lucky in that his pregnancy with him, he was quite little and tucked up inside my ribs, so I didn't get a big bump. I didn't get bad hip pain. I didn't get a lot of things that are very common in pregnancy, and I wasn't really particularly sick either. And lockdown was happening, so it was a lot of kind of just I needed to keep working out for my brain. So I mean, we adapted all the movements, and my gym coach was amazing, and just said like, keep coming back. We'll find a way to get you moving, because I know that you need it to stop your overthinking. And yeah, I was actually at the gym the morning that I went in to labour.
Really? So you exercised to the very end?
To the very end. But I mean, you know, for 1,000 different reasons, that isn't what works for most people. And I'm not saying that is the way you should do it. Like, we were really safe about it. And, you know, and then lockdown happened. I had a lot of time on my hands. So I just started running again afterwards, because you could only go out once a day. So
that's all you had, wasn't it? I remember that over lockdown. It was that walk or that run was the only escape you had.
So we went for the walk every day,
Yeah.
and then eventually it became the run every day, and then I just got back to the gym afterwards. And a lot of people I'm surrounded by, obviously through work and family, are all involved in CrossFit and things, so it's really normal for us to be doing it every day.
Makes it easier. People understand.
And having that access to it obviously makes it easier to access.
Final question, Abby. What do you think sets Battle Cancer apart from other fitness, other post-cancer fitness initiatives?
I think community probably be our roots, and that bringing people together for a bit of a common purpose. You know, not everybody here is here for fitness. Not everybody here is here purely because of like a cancer that they have been through. But I mean, some people may not have a personal connection to cancer, but they understand that, you know, it's a growing, almost normal in our lives now, that we really need to all stand up and do something about. So whether you've been affected by it directly or indirectly, or whatever your story is, I think everybody comes here and actually feels like they understand each other a little bit, and they've come together to kind of stand up against it. So I think underneath all of Battle Cancer, everything, all the, you know, fancy setup, like there's actually like a good strong group in there that brings people together.
Well, thank you, Abby. I think what you guys have done with Battle Cancer is amazing. I hope that interview wasn't too bad, because I know you weren't excited.
Thank you.
You're brilliant as well. Not that you haven't said it, but everyone individually has said, "Oh, Abby, she's brilliant. She's amazing. She's really nervous." So, thank you.
It's the glitter. It's the glitter station. It's not me. It's the glitter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
I hope you enjoyed hearing Matt, Peter and Abby's stories. Tune in next week to continue to hear how Battle Cancer have helped the lives of other cancer survivors, as well as hearing from Pete Williams, one of the co-founders. And if you enjoyed listening, please do share it with a friend, and please rate it, review it and subscribe to the podcast. It really, really does make a difference. And don't forget to look back and check out some of the amazing guests we've had on previously on the show. See you next week.